A young girl was collecting empty bottles from the street. Suddenly, she spotted a bottle lying nearby and rushed toward it. At the same time, a young man also stepped forward toward the same bottle. The girl quickly picked it up and said, "I saw it first, so it belongs to me." The young man looked at her with surprise and calmly replied, "I didn't need it. I was actually going to throw it into the dustbin." Hearing this, the girl felt embarrassed and said softly, "I'm sorry, I thought you needed it." "Actually, I do." The young man observed her carefully and said, "You seem educated. Why are you collecting bottles?" The girl replied, "I'm a graduate. I came to the city in search of a job, but someone stole my purse. I lost everything. I haven't eaten for days, so I started collecting bottles to survive and somehow return home." Hearing her story, the young man felt deep sympathy. He said, "Maybe that person was a fraud, but I'm not. Come with me, I might be able to help you." He took her to a restaurant owned by his cousin and asked him to serve her food. The girl ate hungrily. After finishing her meal, she hesitantly said, "Can you lend me $1,000? I promise I'll return it once I reach home." The cousin became suspicious and whispered, "She seems like a fraud. First food, now money." But the young man smiled and said, "I trust her." He transferred the money to his cousin, who then handed it to the girl. She thanked them and left. A few days later, the girl called again. "I urgently need more money. My mother is very ill. I promise I will return everything. Please help me with $20,000. The young man, who belonged to a middle-class family and had saved that amount for his education, didn't hesitate. He sent all his savings to her. His cousin was shocked. "What have you done? How will you continue your studies?" The young man replied, "It's okay. She needed it more. God will make a way for me." After 2 or 3 years, one day, a luxurious car stopped outside the same restaurant. A well-dressed woman stepped out and approached the owner. "Do you recognize me?" she asked. The owner replied, "No." She said, "I'm the same girl your cousin helped. I've come to return his money." The owner became angry. "Because of you, he had to quit his studies. Because of you, he is living a life of hardship. He trusted you, and you disappeared for years." Hearing this, the girl felt deeply ashamed. She said, "Please give me his address." The owner gave her the address, and without wasting a moment, she rushed to find the young man. The young man was working as a laborer at a construction site when the girl finally found him. She walked up to him and gently asked, "Do you recognize me?" The young man looked at her carefully, then his eyes widened in surprise. "It's you, isn't it?" The girl smiled and said, "Yes, you recognize me." The young man looked at her from head to toe and said, "You've completely changed. That luxurious car, your elegant clothes, it looks like you've won a lottery." She shook her head and replied, "No, it's not a lottery. The truth is, I am the daughter of a millionaire. But my uncle had taken over our wealth and property. Because of that, my father passed away, and my mother became seriously ill. I had nothing left for her treatment, which is why I asked you for help." She continued, "After my mother recovered, we filed a case in court, and we won. Now all our wealth has been returned to us. I have everything back." The young man listened quietly, still amazed. The girl then said, "I didn't just come to return your money. I also came to repay your kindness. The way you helped me changed my life, and now I want to use my wealth to help others, but I want you to stand by my side in this mission." The young man said, "I don't quite understand." She took a deep breath and said, "I'll explain. First, I want to return every penny I owe you. And second, I want to ask you something important." He looked at her curiously. She said, "Will you marry me?" The young man was stunned. "Are you serious? It feels like you're joking." She smiled sincerely and replied, "I'm not joking. A kind-hearted, compassionate, and selfless person like you, someone who sacrifices his own happiness for others, is rare. Such a person is a blessing, and I don't want to lose that blessing. I want someone like you as my life partner. Will you marry me?" Hearing this, the young man felt overwhelming joy. Without hesitation, he accepted her proposal. And so, they began a new chapter of life together, not just as partners, but as two souls committed to spreading kindness and helping those in need. Those who sacrifice their own comfort to ease the pain of others are rewarded, not only in this world, but in ways beyond imagination. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you.